overcoming negativity, very significant, very important for today's students. And whoever has picked up this topic, I'm thankful to him because this is the most important thing which our students need today. We can title the talk a little positively, so I will call it Developing Emotional Intelligence. You see, this is something you are not learning academically, not in your schools and colleges, but it's very important for you to know that emotional quotient and emotional intelligence play a greater role in your success than merely IQ. You know what IQ is? Now you must get introduced to EQ. EQ and SQ. EQ is emotional quotient, measure of your emotional stability, emotional maturity, and SQ, measure of your spiritual quotient. So we will try to understand that, and through that we will see how we can overcome negativity. Now let's start with this concept of emotional intelligence. What exactly does it mean? Emotional intelligence has two factors. First is what is called self-awareness. In other words, it is called self-mastery, which means I am able to understand my own emotions. I am not at the mercy of my emotions. I am able to track, become aware of my own emotions, and I am able to tap their energy and use it for useful purposes. I am able to enable my emotions, raise them to a higher degree. So if I have this ability, then that's the first part of emotional intelligence, which is called self-mastery. The second part is called social intelligence. It's not enough just to know our own emotions, it is also important to know the emotions of others. Right? Then you can interact positively, you can interact in a proper manner. So social intelligence involves understanding the emotions of other people, interacting with them positively, empathizing with them, and good interpersonal relationships. Now all these factors will be more important to you in your workplace than merely your analytical ability, which is what IQ is about. And that is why overcoming negativity is all about developing emotional intelligence. So here we will discuss some of the laws of emotional intelligence, the way to develop it, what do your own scriptures say. We have a culture of very high EI, emotional intelligence. So what are those factors which are going to affect you? How you can overcome your problems? You can take up your problems and try to find real solutions to them, not mere symptomatic cures, but real long-standing solutions to them. And you will also hear what Vivekananda has to say about all this. So let me start with this. To show you the importance of emotional intelligence, let me start off with a story. Because all young people, you will remember stories better. You see, this is not just a story, it's a real life incident which occurred just a few years back. There was a slum in Mumbai where two young boys were growing up. They were brothers. And their father was a drunkard and he never bothered about the home. The mother had left the father, so you can see the condition of these two boys. They grew up in very straitened circumstances. Sometimes there was no night meal in the family. And education, well, there was nothing worthy to speak about. But it so happened that the elder brother followed in the footsteps of his father. But the younger brother felt that this is not the kind of life I want. So he turned away from this kind of life, put all his energies, emotional energies, on his studies, got a scholarship, and he actually went to the US, completed his double graduation there. He became the CEO of a very big company and made a real success of himself in his life and started helping other slum children who didn't have the opportunity. So now these two young men, now they were young men, they were interviewed separately. One in the slum in Mumbai, the elder brother, and one in one of the cities in the US. And you see, this elder brother who was in the slum in Mumbai, he was asked the question, why did you become what you have become? And he said, what else do you expect me to become with a father like that? My father did not do anything for me. So I have followed in his footsteps. Now, this same question was put to the other brother who was in the US. Why did you become what you have become? And would you believe it? He gave the same answer. He said, what do you expect me to become with a father like that? Now here you can clearly see emotional intelligence at work. Same circumstances, same influences, same opportunities. Everything was the same. One brother, he didn't do anything about it. He just remained where he was. And the other brother did so well in life. Why? He could get out of that negativity. He developed his emotional intelligence. It was his EQ that got him out of this. It made him all positive. It helped him concentrate on his studies. He did so well in life. Today he is helping lots of other people. So you can clearly see emotional intelligence and EQ is more important than IQ. It's a deciding factor in your success in life. Now, how to develop this EQ? You see, this slide will tell you the importance of attitude. So decide just now whether you want to maintain a positive attitude or a negative attitude. You will develop accordingly. If I have a cynical attitude, an attitude of criticizing everything, then when even if good thoughts come to me, I will not allow them to pass through my mind and convert them into sanskars in my mind. And if my attitude is positive, then even if I encounter bad experiences, I will be able to get out of them. Take a positive turn. So that is why, you see these two boys, the example I gave you just now, same circumstances, but one of them had a very positive attitude, the other one had a very mediocre attitude. And that made all the difference. Now the very first factor in developing emotional intelligence is goal orientation. You see, this is something our young people must understand. If you have a shining, alluring, beckoning goal in front of you, you will be able to overcome every negativity. Because you will not waste your time on fritter away your energies on unnecessary things. And if you do not have such a goal, then yes, of course, there is time to sit and brood. There is time to get entangled in all kinds of problems. So if you have a goal in life, and what kind of a goal? You see, we all need two kinds of goals. One is an immediate goal which will help you stand on your own feet because you are students. So the immediate goal will be your higher degree, MTech, PhD, whatever. But beyond that also there should be a goal. What after MTech? What after PhD? You must have a goal which will get you genuine fulfillment in life. And that comes from deep thinking. It can be a spiritual goal, it can be a goal based on service, on helping others, anything which gives you greater and greater fulfillment. That can be your higher goal in life. So if you have this goal orientation, you will see every emotion that comes to you, every thought that occurs in your mind, you will know what to turn it towards. Your life gets a purpose. Your life gets a meaning. And you're going somewhere. You can orientate your life towards your goals. But if this goal orientation is not there, then mediocre life. You will just be at the mercy of whatever you are exposed to. And you will never consciously build up your life. You see, when you come at a crossroad, just now we were across so many crossroads. How do you choose the path you want to go? It depends on your destination, isn't it? Now I wanted to come to Datta Megha College, so I chose a particular road. This applies even in our life as a whole. If I know where I want to go, I will choose a particular road. And if I do not know where I want to go, it will not matter which road I choose. I can go by any path anywhere. So decide your goal. Now you are engineering students, what after this? Think about it. Think seriously about life. This is the first step. And as an example to this, let me tell you the story of this person, Viktor Frankl. He was a great psychotherapist from Vienna, Austria. You might have heard of him, humanistic psychologist. You know, he was at one time a prisoner of war to the Nazis. He spent a few bleak years in the concentration camps, even in Auschwitz in Poland. It was a terrible concentration camp. He spent a few bleak years there, where they were stripped of all humanity. He was a small-built person, so he could easily have succumbed to the torture. On an everyday basis, they were exposed to enormous torture, hunger, cold, every form of torture possible. And there was all the occasion to go into depression. to go to fear, terror, anxiety, even revenge, vengeance. But he didn't succumb to any of these. And people who were stronger than him, his own colleagues, who were stronger than him, well-built, they succumbed to all the negativity. They couldn't bear the torture. Many of them died. But he didn't succumb to any of it. When he came out of the concentration camp at the end of the Second World War, 1945, he saw that his entire family had been exterminated, with the exception of a single sister. And then he took off time to reflect on what made him survive this ordeal. And do you know what made him survive this ordeal? He did not ask the question when he was suffering the torture. He did not ask the question, why are they doing this to me? Or who are they to do this to me? He asked, what is the meaning of human life? And what is the purpose of this suffering within this meaning? Has this suffering any meaning in my life? And what is the purpose of my life then? This question sustained him. This question prevented him from giving in to all the negativity which anyone would come into anybody's life in such a circumstance. But he could totally overcome this because he thought deeply about the meaning of life. What is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of life? What am I moving towards? And then what is the purpose of this particular phase of suffering in my life? So thinking about this, he could bear all the suffering. And he could keep a very positive state of mind in which he didn't succumb to the torture. And when he came out, he made this into a big psychological theory. Today it's called logotherapy. Let me put it in his own words. He says, you see, his own words are, it is self-evident that belief in a super meaning, whether as a metaphysical concept or a religious idea, has the foremost psychotherapeutic effect. If you can find out the meaning of life, think, reflect deeply on it, it will give you the strength to bear all circumstances. Because you know it's a passing phase. It is meant to teach you something. You can take every blow, but not without such a grounding. So his therapy was called logotherapy. It's very popular even today. You see, he became, once he was out of the concentration camps, he became the president of the Austrian Society of Psychotherapy. He became a professor at the University of Vienna in psychiatry and neurology. Later on he moved to the US, where he lectured in California and Harvard. And he toured all over the world. He was invited everywhere just because people understood the importance of this. That if a human being does not find deep meaning to life, he will not find value in life. If he doesn't find value in life, he will not know why he should live a good life. So he will succumb to all negative emotions. So think deeply about this. Just like how Freud stressed on the will to pleasure, Adler stressed on the will to power, they all said that these were the foremost things which matter to the human being. Viktor Frankl said it is the will to meaning that is most important to the human being, and it is the frustration of this will to meaning that causes neurosis. If you frustrate this will to meaning, if you have no higher purpose to live for, you will give in to negativity. So you see how true this idea is. That is why goal orientation is so important. If you keep a shining goal before you, you will arouse your own energies and you will not succumb to nonsensical sentiments. It is so simple. You know, our late beloved president, Dr. Abdul Kalamji, he used to say a small aim is a crime. He used to say that it doesn't defeat you. Keep a great aim in life. Have an immediate goal to attain and have a long-term goal which will fulfill you. Think about it and you will see you will overcome all negativity. When you start thinking in this wise, we come to the second point. You will use every experience in your life as a stepping stone to success. A stepping stone, a means towards your goal. Even your blows, even the blows that come to you, your negativity, whatever that comes, anger comes, hatred comes, jealousy comes, whatever comes, you will use it as a means to an end. You will not get caught up in the means. And here we come to your actual problems. I also work with students so I can very well understand the psychology of negativity. You see, these are the problems mainly which our young people are facing today. Most of all is ADD, attention deficit disorder. It's rampant. I can't concentrate. Common question. Attention deficit. Why you can't concentrate? For a long time, I can't concentrate on anything. That is the problem, ADD. The second problem is, we just first go through the problems and then we will discuss the treatment and solutions. You see, the second problem is obsessive compulsive disorder, which means being obsessed with silly things. Some negative thought and you make it run through your mind over and over again, so that you become that thought. Washing your hand 100 times a week. All this is obsessive compulsive disorder. Silliness. We have this in some measure. And then there is the third most important problem is depression. I don't have to tell you. Depression also is a problem with our young people. Extreme depression is suicidal tendencies. And the fifth problem is sadist attitude, which means taking pleasure in violence. This is a strange thing, but it is a fact with some students. Not just students, with some people, they take pleasure in violence. So now we will see what are the treatments to these problems, youth problems. They are all youth problems mainly. What are the treatments and then what are the actual causes and solutions. You see, the treatments are usually symptomatic, as I told you. They suppress the symptoms for the present. Long-term solution, well, maybe psychotherapists are not able to give. The treatment for attention deficit disorder is, first of all, tranquilizers to help you calm down, and concentration techniques are taught usually. But you see, you know the actual cause for attention deficit? You see, you are living in a peculiar age where you have too much of exposure, especially from the multimedia, from the internet. Constantly, your senses are being bombarded by all sorts of thoughts, all kinds of emotions, all kinds of attitudes falling upon you. This was not there 50 years back. It is a peculiar characteristic of this age that there is overexposure at all levels. Before your mind can process a thought, the next thought comes and bombards you. Before you can reach a conclusion to something, you are exposed to so many things. So your attention itself cannot remain steady. It flips, it moves. When it moves, what happens? It leads to fragmented thinking. When your attention itself is not steady, your thoughts cannot be steady. So it leads to fragmented thinking. That leads to, fragmented thinking will lead to what? Fractured thoughts. Non-completion of thought, non-completion of emotion, fractured thoughts. And that leads to naturally neurosis, neurotic effects. So this is the cause for ADD. Attention deficit is because constant exposure to all sorts of things, and well, there's no control because what to do, it is there in front of me, I have to see it. This is what our young people say today. But you have to. That is why you see the first solution to ADD is control your exposures. What you take in through the senses is going to decide the contents of your mind. So how careful should you be? You want your mind to be a dustbin? Any of you want your mind to be a dustbin? No. Then how come you expose yourself to all sorts of things all the time? And you feel, well, I'll be at peace by doing that. Expose yourself to the good in life, and good things will enter into you. They become part of your mind. Good thoughts will come in. Good sanskars will form. Sanskar शब्द मराठी मध्ये आहे. So मला काही एक्सप्लेन करायची जरूरत नाही आहे. आहे ना संस्कार? आहे संस्कार आहे, प्रेयस आहे, श्रेयस आहे. So we'll be discussing all these concepts. So you see, if you keep on exposing yourself to all sorts of things continuously, without any respite, your attention itself will flip. So controlled exposure is the actual solution. Control your exposures. Expose yourself to good in life. You remember Gandhiji's 3 monkeys? Huh? Don't speak what is evil, don't hear what is evil, don't see what is evil. You can do one thing. You can see what is good and don't see what is evil. That is controlled exposure. You can hear what is good. Hear good, enriching music, inspiring music. Don't hear what is bad, rubbish. And don't talk what is bad, talk what is good. So if you control your exposures in this manner, the contents of your mind will gradually change. Your thoughts will be better. Your emotions will be richer. Your life will be better. So this is the solution first. Second, service and empathy. You see, attention deficit disorder is when you are only oriented towards your ego. You want to constantly grab things for yourself, more and more things entering through the senses. Divert divert your attention a little towards others through empathy, service, and you will see this tendency will go. The mind will calm down naturally. Once a week, do something for others. When we were school children, we had to maintain a notebook in which you had to write every day what you do for others. So now at least once a week, some solid community service program should be part of your life. Do it for others and you will see your mind is working much better. This is part of the solution to attention deficit disorder. Take up the second one, OCD. Now you see the treatment for OCD is usually the first line of treatment is ERP, which is actually a method to overcome OCD, and then antidepressants. But the cause for obsessive compulsive disorder is you have too much free time which you do not know how to use. So develop good habits. Let there be goal orientation in your life. Have a high goal, you have no time to waste on silly things. And then do one activity in the mind. The goal should be such that I can give my life for it. And when you can give your life for it, you definitely will not give it to any negativity. Good exposure, good company, all these are vital to maintaining this attitude of mind. The third problem is depression. You see, depression is not just due to one traumatic cause. Usually it is a combination of causes. And you know what the causes are like? Very interesting. They come in all our lives. The causes are, first of all, it is exposure to, first of all, too much of negativity and less exposure to positive things. This is one of the causes for depression. So you start feeling, well, the world is like this, it's not worth having. So you see, this is a part of reality in many young lives. And then an erratic lifestyle, which gives you absolutely no control over your mind. What is the meaning of erratic lifestyle? You know it best. Getting up at any time, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, eating breakfast at 12 o'clock. This is all erratic lifestyle. Lunch any time or just forego lunch. And again sleeping in the evenings and night sit up till 2 o'clock. And morning again get up at 11 o'clock. So if you have absolutely no order in your life, you can't keep your mind under control. Erratic lifestyle. Gradually it builds up as cumulative effect. And then finally one fine day you find yourself in depression. Nothing is giving you any cheer. So erratic lifestyles lead to very unstable emotions. You are absolutely not in control of your mind. And then there is this culture shock. Many things you are not able to take. What the papers say we are not able to take today. So all this adds on to develop symptoms of depression. So if you want to, a real cure for depression is not antidepressants. The real cure for depression is develop higher interest in life. That itself will remove this erratic lifestyle. If you bring order to your life, if you bring order to your emotions, higher interest, make service a habit, develop higher hobbies, develop love for knowledge, deep thinking, and develop your what is called your cultural values, which means anything which is cheap, anything which is low. Well, I have no time for it. I have no energy to spend on that. So if you do this, prayer, service, higher interest, all this will help you naturally come out of depression. Depression will not come into your life if you have a higher interest. And the interests are all very low and cheap, then every possibility of depression. So, extreme depression is the next problem, suicidal tendencies. So, I don't have to enumerate that. That is when there is an extreme case of depression, it leads to suicidal tendencies. And the usual thing given is, again, antidepressants, counseling, all this. But you know, the cure is again the same which you will use for depression. Formation of routines, formation of good habits, good company. You are the sum total of the company you keep. So if you keep good company, good habits are going to become part of you, and not otherwise. So expose yourself to good company. There is good company everywhere. Only it is not projected and highlighted. So find the good company. And then finally is the saddest attitude. Tendency towards violence, taking joy in violence. So this also, you see, the treatment is based on counseling and punishment and all this. But you see, the actual cause for this kind of an attitude, totally negative attitude towards the other person, is what the person has himself suffered in his childhood. A lot of experiments have confirmed this. If children are treated unkindly, abused, then that becomes their standard for treating others. So you see how important our behavior is, how important our role is in society. If we expose our children to good things in life, give them a lot of care, love, kindness, then they grow up to be caring, loving individuals. And if they see violence in their childhood, if they are exposed to too much of violence, they develop this violent tendency. So you see, the solution is at our level, community service activities. When you do service, you immediately relate to the other person positively, isn't it? So learn to serve. Just service will remove negativity from your life. Once a week, do something for others without any expectation, and no negativity can come into your life. So you see, this is how we tackle these problems. You must go to the core solutions. Go to the core causes and solutions. Treatment is usually only symptomatic. Immediately, somebody might need it, but that is not the last thing about it. Go to the core causes and find the solutions there. Here you must understand how your own mind works. Why negativities take place in your mind, find place in your mind. Why? You see, this first picture is a structural classification of mind. Mind has three portions. The tip of the iceberg, which is above the surface of the water, is what's called conscious mind. And the one which is looming into the water is subconscious mind. You see how large the subconscious mind is and how small the conscious mind is. Our conscious mind is just a strip on the surface of what we call mind. And then the rest of the ocean is unconscious mind, which you know nothing about. This is the structural classification. Functionally, in our scriptures, these are all the faculties of the mind, you see. It's called Antarkaran, the mind in Sanskrit. So each faculty, like for example, Manas, it is the Sankalpa, Vikalpatmika, Antarkaranity, which means it is mainly your emotions. Thoughts and emotions, cogitations, what you are thinking about, considering the pros and cons of things. So that is manas. Buddhi is nishchayatmika antakaranati, which means your determinative faculty. That part of your mind which makes decisions and determines something. That is buddhi. And then the third is chittam, that is your memory bank, your memories. Your memories are nothing but submerged thoughts. Submerged thoughts. I will show you the slides for that. And then there is ahankar, ahamatmika antakaranati, which is ego sense, our sense of ego. So this is the functional classification of the mind. Now, let us go to one actual problem and analyze what happens when negativity attacks your mind. Let us take up stress. It is very common. Isn't it common, stress? Yes. Constantly you are complaining, too much stress, too much study, and we need an outlet somewhere. So what is stress due to? You see, it's very important for you to understand stress is an important negative attitude which you have to fight against for yourself. Don't go and take tranquilizers and don't go and take all kinds of medications in order to overcome this. It's a perpetual anxiety is what is called stress. Perpetual anxiety, fear, it's due to a complex in your mind. Now you see how this complex is formed. First of all, there is a negative emotion, say fear. Examination fear is quite common. And then a defensive attitude towards a negative emotion, which means the fear is there because you haven't studied properly or you haven't paid attention in the classes. If you are wrong, you should say I'm wrong. If I'm lazy, I should say I'm lazy. If I'm not studied, I should say I'm not lazy. Then it won't create a complex. But if I defend it, no, somehow I will manage on the examination day. It will go into the subconscious, create a complex and keep tormenting you till you come out of the exam hall. The stress goes on building up and you will even forget what you have actually studied. So understand how stress is formed. Stop the negative emotion, stop the defensive attitude and stop this repression, putting it into the subconscious pain. Of course that you don't do it consciously, it just goes and lodges itself there and that results in complex. If we don't have complexes in the subconscious, we will be cheerful, happy people, able to face life squarely. If we have complexes in our subconscious, we will be terror-stricken, fearful people, hesitant. We won't know how to face other people. We won't know how to face our examinations. So be perfectly honest. Lead a perfectly clean life. And you will see you will be totally free from stress. Simple solution. Now, you see, dealing with our emotions. How do you handle a negative emotion? A negative emotion is due to a toxic thought. Emotions are nothing but high energy thoughts. When a thought is accompanied by a feeling, it becomes an emotion. Think about it, isn't it true? A thought with a feeling is an emotion. Now, if your thoughts itself are toxic, if they are thoughts of anger, hatred, jealousy, lust, all these, what happens? The feelings also will be contaminated with the level of thinking. The feelings also will be of that level. So then, you can't handle the feeling. Start by, you see, mind control is the first step as well. See that your thoughts are good basically. Your thoughts are pure enough. Your thoughts are positive enough. And you will see the accompanying feelings are also good. So you see the methods of control given is first of all, you bring in the opposite emotion through action. Suppose I find anger rising in my mind and due to one particular person. Then I turn towards that person and myself say sorry. May I help you? Can I do something for you? Do some act of service and the anger will go from your mind. You see, we usually think action follows thought. But thoughts also follow action. If you don't know how to change a thought in a particular situation, a negative thought, do the opposite action. Do a good action to that person and the negative thought will go. This is a very important technique in psychology. So you see, good work creates good thoughts. Do good things and good thoughts will come to your mind. Thoughts of compassion, love and service substitute thoughts of anger, hatred and jealousy. Substitution works in the subconscious mind. If you encourage these thoughts, that is why you do something for others and these thoughts will naturally come into your mind and negative tendencies will naturally go. So this is the first important point. Generate good thoughts through good actions. The second is, see the whole picture. You see, if you have goal orientation, you will not give in to negativity. You see the whole picture when you have goal orientation. My purpose is to reach somewhere, not to get caught in my anger, in my hatred, in whatever. So, your goal is to reach your destination, you will not give in to the negative emotion. This is the second method. The third is conditioning positive thoughts into our mind, which means I consciously go on putting good thoughts into my conscious mind. They go into the subconscious and become good sanskars. This I should do consciously. I will show you a slide which will actually depict that. The fourth is your intake through the senses determines your thought world, which means keep your intake through the senses pure, good. If you just expose yourself to all sorts of things, all types of thoughts will abound in your mind. You saw a movie today, night the movie will haunt you. Tomorrow the movie haunts you. For another next 1 week, you keep thinking of the same things. Isn't it true? Which means the content of your mind is decided by your sense intake, what you saw. So take in the right thing through your senses and your thoughts will be good. That is why you see, there is no replacement for clean lifestyle committed to higher values. You see the importance of this. We start with changing vrittis. Thoughts in your conscious mind. Thoughts in your conscious mind should be chosen, should be good, should be positive, should be pure. These very thoughts, you see, just like this drop of water falling and creating a ripple, they go and lodge themselves in your subconscious mind. The same thoughts, when you repeat them, they become subconscious sanskars. So what creates your sanskars? Your conscious thinking. If that is controlled, if that is good, your sanskars will be good. And then these sanskars, what do? They release thoughts. They sprout into thoughts again and again in your conscious mind, and then we call them memories. Smriti Mantavarma, to become memories. So if you want good memories, what should you do? Good sanskars, so good thoughts. That is why we are what our thoughts have made us. Take care of what you think. You see, we think at the conscious level, isn't it? Conscious mind, you are thinking thoughts. They go into the subconscious and become sanskars. Again, sanskars sprout into memories, tendencies. So, your conscious thinking decides all these, your sanskars as well as memories. Now, how will you change the way you feel through your thoughts? You see, first of all, you start by becoming aware of what is happening on a conscious state. Start by becoming aware of your emotions. Emotions are thoughts with feelings. Then, you start consciously pouring in good thoughts. Like this. You see, go on pouring in good water. What will happen? As you go on doing, it substitutes thoughts of unkindness, hatred, anger, whatever negativity is there in the mind. And then continuously as you go on pouring in good, your sanskars will gradually go on becoming good. And the memories born out of it will all be all positive. So you see, condition the good thoughts into your mind and they become your tendencies. When your memories or spontaneous thoughts are positive and noble, you can be assured that the method is working. Otherwise, if my memories are very negative, I am constantly frightened of them, they terrorize me, then what kind of a state of mind would that be? That is the cause for stress. That is the cause for all negativity. So consciously go on pouring in good thoughts. Thoughts of kindness, love, help, service. And you will see, you change your subconscious sanskars and concentrate to change your memories. Such a simple cycle. You know, this is part of the commentary of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Freud said, well, you can't control your emotions. They just arise from the unconscious and they you become aware of them only when they come and splatter themselves on a conscious plane and you are at the mercy of the emotion. You can't overcome them. But Patanjali Yoga Sutras tells you, consciously you can change your thoughts, your sanskars and your memories. You see what an important idea this is. So don't say, well, I am at the mercy of my emotion, what to do, it is coming up, I can't do anything about it. You are perfectly capable of controlling your thoughts and emotions. Try it and you will see you can do it. And that is why Vivekananda used to say, you are the creator of your destiny. You have your life in your hands. According to your conscious thoughts, you can manufacture your own life. If you think good, you become good. You think all kinds of negative things, that becomes your sanskars. So you see, the thing is very simple, the whole cycle is very simple. This is the difference. Freud claimed that emotions arise from this unconscious and it's a dark, inaccessible core which cannot be controlled. But you find it in the Yoga Sutras that emotions are conditioned, high energy thoughts. Of course, Yoga Sutras don't dwell on emotions, but the commentaries have some very beautiful ideas. And of course, Yoga Sutras give you very great thoughts on concentration of mind, meditative practices, and all these many things, very important things. So here we are trying to study emotions, and they are nothing but conditioned high energy thoughts that can be changed through directed conscious thinking. So what is the actual method? This is the method. When in negativity, practice opposite thought currents. Don't succumb to the negativity. You can change conscious thinking patterns. In today's psychology, it's called cognitive reframing, which means, I'll give you an example. Somebody treats me very badly with a lot of anger. And if I go on saying that, why, what right you have to treat me like this? It only builds up my anger. Instead, if I say, poor fellow, whatever must have happened to him that there was such a reaction in him, immediately I don't allow anger to build up in my system. So I'm reframing the question, reframing the idea. So this is called cognitive reframing. This is what is being said here, you see. Bring in opposite thought currents. So you see, the actual practices subscribed by Patanjali is be a friend to all. See, on your part, all only positive reactions. Be a friend to all. Maitri Bhav we used to call it. Be merciful to those in misery. Karuna it's called. Be joyful with those who are happy. Mudita. Be indifferent to the wicked. Don't give a tit for tat idea. It should be indifferent to the behavior. So you see, on your part, you have given only positive reactions, so you will not succumb to negative. This is the solution which he gives. Next, controlled emotions lead to emotional intelligence. You see, positive emotions actually recharge your body and mind. If we only knew to what extent, we will only allow positive emotions to rule our minds. A man is verily what his bhav is, isn't it? And that is your emotional intelligence. A man is what his bhav is, not merely his thinking ability, not merely his analyzing ability, but his actual bhav. And that is his emotional intelligence. Intelligence level, you can say. And the thoughts of service, sharing and love have therapeutic effects. They recharge your body and mind. And thoughts of hatred, anger and lust are destructive. They actually, it has been tested on cells. The cells actually contract when exposed to such emotions. Always remember, EQ is greater than IQ. It's a more deciding factor in your success in life. And it is ultimately SQ that generates both IQ and EQ. So here you must have, this is the third most important point which I want to tell you. You must have some idea of what spiritual quotient means. What spiritual intelligence means. Because if you do not have any idea of your own spiritual heritage, you cannot actually have idea of the solutions prescribed for emotional problems in your heritage. So, the principles of SQ. You see, in the year 2000, a book was released. It was called SQ, Spiritual Quotient, Connecting with Our Spiritual Intelligence. And it was written by Donna Zomer and Ian Mitchell, and it became a bestseller across all continents because it dwelt on these actual spiritual principles in life. And what are these principles? You see, the first one they speak of is taking a third person perspective in life, which gives a higher and wider perspective to life. Now, what does this mean? Third person perspective. This is actually a method given in your own Vedanta, the 4,000-year-old philosophy. Sakshi Bhav, Aikla said to me, Sakshi Bhav, which means observe your thoughts, observe your emotions, and they come under control. If you don't observe them, you can't control them. Just close your eyes and see thoughts and emotions are flitting across the mind. The moment you start observing, immediately you are able to take a third person perspective. You don't become the thought, you don't become the emotion. So you are not part of the problem at all. You are apart from the problem. So they come under control. So this is what she is telling in the book. This is the first principle, which is a time-tested method given in Vedanta. Take the stand of the third person, the witness attitude, and you will be able to control the thoughts in your mind. This helps you review your life. You see, understanding your own life, your own thoughts, your own emotions comes when you stand apart from them, apart from your thoughts, apart from your emotions. So don't just identify yourself immediately. If you can stop your thoughts for at least a fraction of a second in meditation, you will see you are more the background awareness than the thought. This is an actual fact which you yourself can feel. You are the awareness which is the foundation of the thought. So then, you are not the thought, you are not the emotion. So you can control it. You are more aware than identified. Once you understand this, you have understood the actual principle of spiritual quotient. Which means stay apart from your mental level. You are much higher than that. Stay apart from these emotions, the tangle of emotions, thoughts, attitudes, all kinds of things popping up in your mind. Stand apart and you will be able to control them. And then it helps you decide what is right and wrong. What is right and what is wrong? You know, in our culture, it's a specialty of our culture, whatever is Shreyaskar is right. And what is Preyaskar is wrong. Shreyas, Shreyas, what is good for you is Shreyas. And what is pleasant is Preyas. The two are different. Aren't they? Pleasure comes to us and what is good also comes to us. You see, eating an apple is good for me. Eating a piece of cake is bad for me. But the cake is more pleasant than the apple. So apple is Shreyaskar. Cake is Preyaskar. What should I choose? Apple. You see, this is the glory of your culture. It always insists that you incline towards what is Shreyas. So it will help you decide between right and wrong. It is your spiritual quotient standing apart from your emotions that helps you decide what is Shreyas and stick to it. And then it helps you heal and change. How do you change? Just now you saw, how do you change the contents of your mind, the contents of your subconscious, through your conscious thinking. So it will help you change once you understand your own inner spirituality, you understand something about the spiritual quotient, you understand that you are essentially awareness, separate from your thoughts. You are not the body and mind alone. This is something you are functioning through. You are the Atman functioning through the body and mind. This is what Vedanta will tell you about yourself. You see, very important thought on self-identity. You are the Atman, a unit of pure consciousness, pure awareness, functioning through this body and mind. So don't go jump ahead and identify merely with this body and mind and get caught up with its emotions, with its thoughts. No, that is not your real nature. Stand apart from it, reflect on your real nature and use this as an instrument to function in this world. You see what a beautiful elevating idea. This is how you develop spiritual intelligence. Once you have this intelligence, you will see EQ and IQ become easy to practice. They become part of your being. You will naturally take a third person perspective to all problems. So this is the importance of spiritual quotient. It is part of your own 4,000-year-old spiritual culture. Our Indian cultural values are based on that heritage. You see? That is why they are our emotional safeguard. This is something you should acknowledge. Yours is a culture of respect and worship, fidelity and family values. All based on love of Shreyas, inclining towards what is Shreyaskar in life. It is a culture that has believed in Shreyas above Prayas. It is not a culture of mere pleasure. It is a culture of responsibility. It is a culture of inclining towards what is good and noble in life. A culture which has placed purity above pleasure. A culture which has placed service above self. And that is why it is a culture of high emotional intelligence, high EQ. It is a culture derived from the spiritual heritage. So let me end with Vivekananda's own words. He says, call upon the sleeping soul and see how it awakens. Power will come, glory will come, goodness will come, purity will come. All positivity will come when all that is excellent will come once the soul is aroused to self-conscious activity. When you acknowledge the presence of the soul, this Atman within you, and call forth this soul, by identifying with it, you will see all knowledge comes to you. The mind opens itself, it will not create barriers to negativity. It opens itself to knowledge. It opens itself to all positivity. So believe in this. It's part of your own heritage. Believe you are the Atman functioning through this body and mind, and you will see how best the body and mind function. They become your friends. It's a very powerful idea, the Bhagavad Gita. You are your own friend or enemy. Isn't it true? If my mind is positive, it's my friend. If my mind is negative, it's my own enemy. And I can make it positive or negative depending on how I allow thoughts to circulate in the conscious strip of my personality.